All your movies suck, and we're going to tell you why.
Today on the show.
Good morning, Scallywags. So in the past, we have talked about tropes and cliches that need to die when it comes to horror movies. And we've also talked about some comic book movies and stuff like that. But today we're going to talk about movies in general. Movies nowadays they're not good.
No,
I mean,
they're almost predictable. Some of these movies nowadays are almost predictable.
I mean, every once in a while, you'll have one that kind of flies under the radar, especially when it comes to like indie films and stuff like that, which, as far as I'm concerned, indie films is where your best movies come from now. But you look back in the past, like the 80s, the 90s, I think personally, and it's not just because I'm an old guy, but
yeah, it is. Don't let him fool you.
But I wholeheartedly believe that that's when the best movies were made. And today, it's kind of, everything's following a formula, if you will. And so we're going to have to expose a couple of the genres out there and expose those formulas for you.
Oh,
and
definitely.
Just to see, these are things that need to change, people.
Yeah, it's not about originality either.
It starts with you.
But it's breaking a mold, it's breaking a formula, trying things new, and that, I agree with what you said. I think indie films nowadays are giving us a wider breadth of movies than what you get out of, not to continue to say what you just said, but give us a better movie than what we get out of Hollywood, because Hollywood follows, this is your scriptwriter, you're following this here.
Well, anymore, movies aren't made by a writer and director. Movies are made by a market team and a room full of suits that are like, okay, well, we have your script here, and while it's good, we have some things we want you to change, and we want to, marketing shows that we need this, and research shows that we need this.
And we want to tie it in with toys, so you need to change it here, and you need to do this thing there. I know, I totally understand.
Yeah, even though the decline of toys, I mean, that's its own story.
That's its own story later on.
Yeah, I mean that's something we need to cover. We need to cover that. Yeah,
we do.
But let's start with action films, for example, and we'll show you what we're talking about here. For example, every action film, now again, there are some that break the mold, but for the most part, action movies are your protagonist, your main character in the movie, if you don't know what protagonist it's either going to be his last day on the job as a cop or something to that effect. He's a fish out of water. So say John McClane is a cop in New York who goes to Los Angeles, or he's someone who just got out of the military and just came home, and now the war is at home.
I think Arnold Schwarzenegger in Commando.
Right. Which those are both old movies, but it still follows that same formula. Your typical action film has kind of followed the same formula for years.
Yes.
Or nowadays, what you see more than anything is it's a person with, to quote Liam Neeson, a particular set of skills. They're always you find out midway through the movie that he was some dude that was in some special black ops faction of the military, and he's the only one in the world that knows how to do these. John Wick, Taken, so many I could list off, but they are that guy.
It's that guy, yeah. And then, like you said, even going back to Bruce Willis, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Kirk. He was in
Kirk Cameron.
No, not Kirk Cameron. Escape from L.A., Escape from New York. Kurt Russell. Yes, yeah. Even back then, they were still that kind of formula, like fish out of water.
Yeah. And I could list off a number of movies. Of course, your Die Hard series, your Olympus Has Fallen. Former special Secret Service guy who
CIA
has retired, and now he's the only guy that can go in and do the thing. So the situation arises that will test that person's particular set of skills.
And have you noticed how often they involve family?
Oh, the family. There has to be
a daughter, a child, or a son, a wife, grandparents.
Yeah.
And it's always dire. It's like, I've got to get to them now.
Yeah. It's always either, this place has been taken hostage and my daughter's in there. I've got something to fight for.
Yeah.
Taken. It's always some member of his family.
But it's the same. It's the same cliche. This happens. My family's involved. I've got to rescue them or get them out. And it just so happens I can take care of saving the world while I do that.
Right. And it doesn't. I mean, not necessarily a family member, but a loved one of some sort. John Wick,
a dog.
So here's a guy who was like, the biggest BA guy and all the mob, and he gets out and he gets married, and his wife dies of a completely unrelated thing. But her last action in this world was to give him a dog, so he'll have someone to love. And well, they killed his dog, so sets it into action.
Revenge everywhere.
Yes, and of course that something is burning.
Yeah, somebody's burning. It smells like somebody's burning. Something is burning outside of Chocolate Milk Studios, but it's not Chocolate Milk Studios.
It smells good.
Yeah, it kind of smells nice. Yeah.
Oh God, it's the Taco Bell.
Now, of course, this guy has to act alone, because if he has anyone joining him, they're dead.
He's got no friends.
Yeah, all of his friends are dead. Are you going to go check that out?
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of worried that it might be a thing. But yeah, anyway.
It could be a thing. It might be a thing. Hopefully it's not a thing.
Yeah, hopefully not. It could be. So if he has someone that's joining him, they're going to die. Or they're at least going to... I mean, he's going to have a sidekick or someone helping him at some point in time, and they are either going to get horribly beaten and taken out of the game, or they're going to die.
Yeah.
One way or another.
Yeah.
And he's going to end up fighting endless amounts of henchmen that all know martial arts, by the way. That's key.
It's a prerequisite in these action movies.
Yes.
You've got to know Kung Fu or Taekwondo or something.
And if you are just, general lackey with a gun, then you must have previously worked for Cobra or have been a stormtrooper, because God knows you can't shoot anything.
The broadside of a barn.
Yeah, I'm one guy in the wide open, but no one's hitting me, so hey, it's all good.
Yep.
And then eventually, you get down to your main bad guy, your main antagonist of the movie, and it's not going to be just walk into a room, shoot the bad guy, and it's all done and over with. No. Oh God,
no, can't be that.
Can't have that. You got to have your big action sequence at the end. So it's going to be a big fight.
And no matter how many henchmen you have went through, this one guy, like you said, this one guy can go through 1,000 individuals, never get touched or mildly get scrapes and bruises, and has to have a Band-Aid.
Now he's going to get
his whole body handed to him. How about you know what I was going to say?
He's going to be bloody, bruised, and broken, and all but broken. But in the end, when you think that he's finally beaten,
he's going to find that strength, and he's going to be like, not today.
It's going to be that one last blow that's going to take the guy out. Yeah.
Generally, this involves being in front of his family members when he does it too, or they can watch via.
Or they're just like in a video game.
Yeah.
They're just locked alone in the next room, unsupervised. Yeah. There's no more fighting after you fight the main bad guy. You have to fight your way back out of the place.
I like the parody in Austin Powers where Dr. Evil just walks away from them in Sharks.
Yeah.
Instead of watching him die.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm just going to leave, because that's what you do as a villain.
You're going to escape this.
You're going to escape this. You're going to come after me, and then we're going to,
No, I mean, we can't forget the part where right whenever the good guy is bloody and bruised and about to, you think he's about to die.
That's where the villain always reveals everything.
The whole plan.
Well, this was a thing to get you to do this thing, so I can now do this other thing.
Yeah. So that after you beat me, you could take down the whole system. So you might want to know this information later on when I'm dead.
Because in real life, nobody's going to tell you. They're going to be like, oh, bang.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Now there is
in the Watchmen.
Right.
Yes. Now there is one film genre that just genuinely bugs me. Okay, this just bugs the ever living crap out of me, and that is the rom-com. Okay. Now rom-coms, more than any other genre of films, follow a very specific pattern, several portions of which make no sense whatsoever.
But they work in the rom-com, so they keep using it.
Right. And that is boy or girl. So just for sake of argument, we'll say that our main character in this movie is a guy. Okay? We're guys, so we'll go with that. Guy he's probably like an ad exec or something along those lines. He works in some kind of mundane but cool job.
Yeah.
And he's a complete douchebag.
Yeah, he knows that something is wrong, but he doesn't care enough to fix it. He
only cares about himself. Yeah, he only cares about himself. He only cares about getting laid and getting drunk and whatever. Well, then his friend will come along and propose some kind of a challenge or something to that effect, a bet. But something that creates
these
a
are
secret.
Really nicely put in some of the early 2000s teenage comedies.
Oh yeah.
Go ask the ugly girl out to prom. I dare you.
Yeah. Perfect.
You know,
that trope has been used
that
many,
trope
many
has
times
been
over.
used so many times.
but a secret will be
Yeah.
created by this that causes him to go out, and as a part of this situation, he will meet Girl. Okay? Girl is perfect girl next door.
Yeah. Great person.
Perfect personality. She's funny. She's cute, but not too cute. And she's just
she is
something-
your average girl next door.
Average girl. Nothing spectacular. She is your average girl next door. Okay?
Yep.
Now, situations that they've been put into means that these two are now going to fall in love. Now, they won't admit it to each other, but it's obvious. They're falling in love for one another. And just when they're about to get together, that secret
That secret is
will
revealed.
come out.
Yeah, that secret is totally revealed.
What's up?
Now I see smoke.
Okay, so I bet it is Thing then.
Sorry, may have been Chocolate Milk Studios.
Yeah. Yep, I think it was Thing. It was Thing.
It was Thing.
Okay. I was afraid of that.
But yes, so then the secret is
The
revealed.
secret is revealed. Now, here's the part that makes no sense to me, okay? The person who is now hurt by the secret, which of course is average girl next door, she now decides she's going to uproot her entire life and move.
Yeah, either she's going to move different schools, different cities, or in some cases, different states or countries.
Yeah.
Just for no reason. It's like, I can't handle this anymore.
Because
I've got to leave.
because a relationship going south is how many times have you moved because you broke up with someone?
Oh, I did it all the time in high school. Totally all the time in high school.
Yeah, I've just been state and country hopping all over the place. It just, that part makes absolutely no sense to me, but nonetheless, it is part of the trope where they move or they're about to move.
Or
But
they're
then
about
of course,
to move, and then of course at the end,
then of course the
very end.
douchebag redeems himself by making some kind of a grand gesture of some sort that completely wins them over. Yeah, and happily ever after.
Which, then we can always go back to other movies that we've talked about in the past where come Monday morning, it won't be happily ever after.
Yeah, right. I mean, you really think just because, every relationship is wonderful in the beginning. Every new relationship, it's exciting, it's happy, it's wonderful.
New relationship energy is what
So
we
you
call
really
it.
think, they started on such a rocky road that whenever, the fights start happening and the arguments and the disagreement and the distrust and, things that, can come along with relationships, not saying they always do, but when they can,
Yeah.
say about a year in, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
You follow up with 9 out of 10 of these happily ever after couples, and I guarantee you they're not together anymore.
Yeah.
Now, of course, rom-coms lead into comedy in general.
Yes. Comedy in general.
Now, this is a trope that's hard to pin down. But at the same time, well, in some ways, you can't just say this is the formula for a comedy movie now because there are so many subsets of comedy movies.
Hence the rom-com.
Yeah, hence the rom-com.
Then you've got the action com, and you've got the...
You've got the cross-genre comedy, so horror comedy, action comedy, blah, 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 blah,
Yep.
blah. Now, what defines a comedy movie? Is it just a movie that has funny moments in it? No.
No.
So, say, like, we looked up a list of, like, the best comedy movies
from
of 2017.
yeah.
And it has stuff like Thor Ragnarok. No, that's a comic book movie that happened to have some comedy.
It's got some
in it.
jokes in it, but no.
It also had Get Out listed on there, which I don't understand.
That's a horror
That was
movie,
just a horror
yeah.
movie. But it was a satirical horror movie. But being satirical
What else
doesn't
did
make
it
it
have
funny.
on there?
by any
It
means.
had...
It had a lot
had
of cartoons.
3 Billboards Over Ebbing, Missouri was not
Right?
a comedy.
What, just because Woody Harrelson's in it for
Yeah.
half an hour makes it a comedy?
No.
No.
No, it doesn't. It was a
But-
very straightforward drama. It had a lot of...
What you can pinpoint down is that comedies have followed a formula per the decade. So you go back to, like, say, the 70s. You had Animal House,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So a lot of 70s and early 80s. You
A lot
had,
of coming-of-age comedies.
Well, the coming of age, that was kind of later on, but it was more just raunchy comedy.
Yeah, I would
So
agree,
you
yeah.
had Animal House, you had early 80s, you had Porky's, stuff like that. Mid 80s, you start getting into more things like, say, the Brat Pack movies or things, Revenge of the Nerds, things like that, which sort of the beginnings of the coming of age thing, but still very. I don't want to say raunchy comedy. I mean, Revenge of the Nerds had a few raunchy type moments in it, but still just that very. What am I looking for here? Ferris Bueller, just very 80s
Just
comedy.
very comedy. Yeah.
90s is when you come into the coming of age stories.
Yes.
Can't Hardly Wait, Empire Records, Slackers,
Mallrats.
Mallrats. Just so many
Yeah.
that you can pick from here. And it was all revolving around teenagers. A lot of them taking place on like graduation night, things like that. And then toward the end of the '90s and early 2000s, you get into very much potty humor, just poop and fart jokes.
That's what we're gonna call that.
American Pie. A lot of the type of movies that followed those lines. Road Trip. Anything that had Tom Green in it. Do we need to talk about Freddy Got Fingered? Oh, God.
And then some of them you can get comedies with a lot of physical humor.
Yeah, and this is when Jackass became big, things like that.
Yes.
Then from there, we went into the parody movies. You had
so many
scary
parody
movie,
disaster
superhero
movies,
movie, epic movie. All of these just horrible. Like, okay, the first scary movie was funny. I'll give it that.
The next four, no.
A lot of people liked the second one. I thought the second one was god awful. And then the Wayans brothers stepped away, and the Zucker brothers, which they made Airplane and stuff like that. They took over, and wow. From there,
not that Airplane or Naked Gun.
No, those movies were great.
Were good movies.
I loved those.
But again, those were back in the late '70s, early '80s.
Yeah. Right up there with like Kentucky Fried Movie and stuff like that, which love that movie. Which movie 43 gets a really bad rap, and everybody says it's one of the worst movies ever made. I compared movie 43 to the Kentucky Fried Movie, which is one of my favorite comedies of all time. I loved it. It is just a turn your brain off and just enjoy the stupidity type of movie. That's all it was ever meant to be, and that's all it was for me, and I loved it because of it.
So of late, what would you say the biggest thing is with comedies? I have to say, if you don't have an SNL alum tied to it, you just can't make a comedy.
Yeah. When we say SNL alum, but some of them aren't. But there are certain people that have to pop up in one of these movies. Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy, Jason Bateman. Who else? Who am I missing?
Tina Fey.
Tina Fey or Amy Poehler. Will Ferrell, which Judd Apatow has his own subset, which so no Judd Apatow movies, no Adam Sandler movies, movies that have their own cast that appear in no Seth Rogen movies.
Yeah, they're all their own
that have the same cast in every movie. But the comedies that you get as a result of this aren't comedies; they're just an action movie with comedy in it, or a
buddy movie with comedy in it.
Buddy cop movies, with comedy, and they've all got one of those people in there. So like we ran a list. Do you have that list pulled up?
Oh,
we ran a list of some of we mentioned this a minute ago. Some of the funniest movies of 2017, and every single one of them we were like, no category,
it's this category.
There was one that popped up, and it was an indie film.
it was an indie film. Imagine that.
It was a bigger release indie film, but still somewhat of it. And it was I don't even remember what it was now. Oh, it was
Chapo's got
Logan Lucky.
Yeah.
Okay. Best comedy movies 2000.
Here we go.
Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle.
Remake, also starring Kevin Hart,
Kevin Hart
and The Rock.
And now I'm starting at number 1 on the list and reading down.
Okay. And we're going to pick
these are comedy. Remember, these were labeled comedies.
These are the greatest comedies of 2017.
Ranker award the best comedy movies of 2017 according to Ranker.
Okay, here we go. According to Ranker.
Number 2, Thor Ragnarok.
Comic book movie had comedy in it.
Yep.
Number 3, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Comic book movie also can be called sci-fi or action, and just had comedy added to it.
Number 4, The Hitman's Bodyguard.
That one I could say.
But at the same time, action movie with comedy.
Yeah.
But close.
It's got Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson. So
it was a pretty good movie.
Number 5, Daddy's Home 2. Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell
movie.
Also a sequel.
Mark Wahlberg.
Didn't he do a Transformers movie or something like that?
He did do a Transformers movie, yes. But those two have become. You got, of course, Daddy's Home. You also had the other guys. So we're
Mark Wahlberg. They're just
getting into Will Ferrell
his,
movies. He's
block.
another one of those that has the same cast in all of his movies.
Number 6, which is the first one I threw the flag on. Baby Driver.
Baby Driver. I don't see how that was.
That's not even close.
I mean, there were maybe a couple of humorous moments, but not a comedy.
One or two jokes, but not a comedy. No,
it was an action movie.
It was an action.
Number 7,
Heist movie.
Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Comic book movie.
with
And
jokes.
it's Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Spider-Man by
Spider-Man.
itself has to be kind of funny because Peter Parker, that's
Is a
how he
smart
deals
ass.
with everything going around, is he's a smartass.
Yeah. Number 8, Girls Trip.
Girls Trip. Not familiar with this one, but
Yeah, it was a funny movie, but you could almost classify it, and I don't want to use the term coming of age, but redefining who you are or rediscovering yourself with comedic elements in
not
it.
familiar with that one. Can't say anything. Anymore.
Number 9 was Going in Style. Morgan Freeman, Michael.
Okay, now this one is close, but this is another subset, which is the old guys doing that thing for one last time kind of.
But it could be considered
It's a heist comedy.
It's a heist comedy.
It's been
yeah.
done a million times, but that one's up there.
Number 10, Fist Fight.
Fist Fight. Okay, now this is one of those guys that what is
Ice
it?
Cube and Charlie
Ice
Day.
Cube and Charlie Day. Charlie Day fits into like the Jason Bateman line of films a lot, but this one, I'll give it credit. I'll give it credit, but at the same time, there was a lot of that movie was filled with a lot of your just poop and fart joke type stuff, or cursing for the sake of trying to be funny with it, where I mean I don't mind cursing in a movie, whatever, that's fine, but like when it's used in a way to be humorous, it doesn't work.
Exactly.
It's just dumb,
And it was basically a remake at 3 o'clock.
and it was just
Yeah.
a comedic remake of 3 O'Clock High. Exactly, yes.
Number 11, The House. Will Ferrell, Amy.
Amy
Wolf-
Poehler, yeah, or
SNL alums.
yeah.
Number 12, Baywatch.
Baywatch
Rock,
remake, and The Rock.
Yep.
And
But it was an
Rock.
action comedy.
Yeah.
Because I mean they were stopping.
What's funny is if you actually go to the IMDb page for that, it's actually listed as an action drama,
Yeah.
not a comedy.
With again, it's an
Maybe
action
maybe they
movie
just
with
knew that it
comedic-
wasn't funny and just we can't call this comedy.
Yeah, we can't call this
Yeah. Number 13, Despicable Me 3.
comic
Cartoon.
book or not comic book. Yeah, cartoon, and it's got
Well, it's cartoon.
Yeah, it's just cartoon,
Cartoons
yeah.
are cartoons.
Steve Carell.
Steve Carell
Yeah.
in it.
SNL alum. 14, The Big
Is he?
Sick.
The Big Sick.
That was the Pakistani comedian meets the love of his life, or meets this American woman. She falls into a coma, like the day after they break up.
Oh.
But since he's still in her phone contacts, her girlfriend calls him and goes, "Hey, she's in the hospital. Can you come sit with her?"
Oh.
And he's like, we kind of broke up. And she's like, "Yeah, but you're the only person I can get a hold of."
Oh.
And so the girl's parents,
I might need to check this one out.
Yeah, I might need to watch this one.
the girl's parents, played by Ray Romano and Holly Hunter,
Oh.
show up.
Is this an indie film?
Yeah, kind of was.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
It's, but it's based on.
Like this actually sounds like something with heart. I mean,
It's the true story of this guy's life. This is
Oh,
how
wow.
he met his wife.
Again, there
Oh.
you go. It's an indie film.
there you go. Okay,
And-
so there's
and
one.
I-
An
Big
actual
Sick.
good
I
sounding
need
comedy.
to check that out.
Yeah.
It was a good movie. I saw it. It was good. Let's see. Number 15, The Heresy Part 2, otherwise known as The Disaster Artist.
Yeah. Okay. Again, now that is a Seth Rogen that group of
James
guys, maybe
Franco.
James
Yeah.
Franco, those guys. But at the same time, it's even though it is those guys, and they typically do like stoner comedies and stuff like that. At the same time, this was one that was a passion project of you just said it. I just lost his name. James Franco. And this was a passion project of his, and it was actually done with heart behind it, and it was done very, very well. So, but that one, I'll give it that one. That one gets the indie treatment based on that, even though it wasn't really an indie film.
Number 16, Logan Lucky.
Logan Lucky. Now there you go. Okay, now this was one.
Adam Driver, Channing Tatum.
That one I give credit to.
Yeah.
Mentioned that one already.
17, Bad Moms Christmas.
Bad Moms Christmas. Okay,
Sequel.
Medea
Sequel,
films. We
Medea
forgot to
film,
mention
yeah.
Medea films. Yeah, there's its own subset as well.
Here's another one. 18, Pitch Perfect 3.
Sequel. Yeah.
19, Boss Baby.
Cartoon.
Cartoon.
Number 20, Chips.
Remake.
Buddy cop movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's those guys.
Those guys
Dax
again, yeah.
Anything with Dax Shepard in it, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Dax Shepard, Michael Pena.
Yeah.
Michael Pena I like, but Dax anything with Dax. I mean, this is a guy that got his start on Punk'd.
Yeah.
Enough said. So anyway, there, guys, there you have it. Just a few of those. I mean, I know we didn't go into sci-fi and stuff like that, but you get where we're going with this. So Hollywood, we're begging you, make better movies.
Yeah, look to your indie films, and they'll tell you that breaking the script, breaking the mold of your movies isn't always bad. It gets people energetic.
Right.
A lot of what we see now in Hollywood is literally a rom-com, an action flick, a comic book movie, or sci-fi / horror.
Or a remake, reboot. That just is done with...
Waiting for another reboot where we have to tell the origin story all over again.
Ghostbusters is the perfect example of this. And if you want to see a great review and that says everything that needed to be said about the remake of Ghostbusters, go check out Red Letter Media, Mr. Plinkett's review of Ghostbusters. He put it perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. But anyway, guys, something we might have missed, drop it down in the comments below. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
You're here on YouTube, watching us on YouTube. So keep on doing those YouTubes, liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Please subscribe.
Yeah. As long as you're over on Facebook, why don't you give a click and get you one of those?
Yeah, one of these. These are the show shirts. They're super comfy, super soft, come in colors and shapes and sizes, and, well, you know the spiel by now.
The shapes are all the same, but yeah. You can get yourself a short sleeve shirt for only $20, long sleeve for $22, or you can get one of our fabulous hoodies for $25.
And we're going to say, bless you to El Chapo.
Yeah. And we'll see you guys back here tomorrow for our favorite day of the week.
Hi, I'm Mo from Schultz and Dooley's, and here's your Russian clip of the day.
Что ты делаешь, Юн?
Hey guys, thanks for watching that video. We hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, and if you liked what you see, go ahead and click on our faces to go ahead and subscribe to get all of our Monday through Friday stuff.
Indeed, and here's a couple of links down below that you can follow to watch more shows like it. Tons of great content right here at Scallywag Productions. We'll see you tomorrow.